I think the question that a lot of people are asking justifiably is how high should we be on the Patriots offense heading into the Super Bowl? Because it's been a little bit of a shaky playoff stretch. Drake Maye was sacked 5 times and had 86 passing yards against the Broncos. It was really snowy. This comes into the equation for this conversation. But the Patriots have scored only 54 combined points in their 3 playoff games so far in 2025. That marks the fewest points scored by a team that played 3 games prior to the Super Bowl, breaking a previous record held by the 2000 Ravens. This is not the 2000 Ravens defense, hence the concern. Where do you stand on this?
I'm still high on the Patriots defense. You know why, Joe? And it's real simple. It's right there in front of you. Why would I be high on the Patriots offense?
Drake Maye?
Their left tackle, Will Campbell, is just a stud.
Even though he's been playing like ass?
He's had a rough turn of he's had a rough go of the playoffs. A little joke in here. It is Drake Maye. Your first answer was correct. It is not their rookie left tackle, who is a left tackle starting in the Super Bowl, by the way.
Future left guard.
He's a tackle pal. He's a tackle pal. His waistline is not wide enough to be a guard.
He needs an awful lot of help for a left tackle.
He's a rookie. How did your rookie left tackle do?
When Giants didn't have a rookie left tackle.
When he was a left tackle. How did Evan Neal do?
He struggled. Evan, or I thought you were talking about Andrew Thomas.
I'll talk about both of them.
Evan Neal also should have been playing guard to start his NFL career, and he was a wasted pick because they drafted him out of position and expected him to perform well at a position that he was not going to be able to succeed at. He couldn't move well enough in space to play tackle, just like Will Campbell can't keep up with guys that have more length than him, and he continues to struggle. That is a separate issue that we're not going to dig into. But if you want to keep giving me crap for that,
I'll give you some guff. I will. I'll guff you up.
How long were your arms when you were playing tackle?
Short. My arms. I told you this
Will
story.
Campbell Anderson.
When we were getting measured, and it was measurement time, and
the scout gasped.
It was. You're being funny. They said, "All right, tall man. All right. Here's the height. Do the hand," and then it was the wingspan, and I went wide, and then they said my number, and it was like the whole room groaned, like it was so bad.
Well, Will Campbell,
it was like shorter than Mamadou's wingspan.
I sent it to, which is
he was a DB.
Kind of justified. Mamadou had insanely long arms for a defensive back. I believe though this is the whole issue though that comes with. I sent it. Where the hell is my text with Ryan? I sent this yesterday to Ryan. It was to the True Scouts chat. I sent this in here that Campbell had one of the shortest wingspans. His 77 3/8 inch wingspan would be the shortest wingspan of any offensive tackle at the combine since 2011. So that basically includes every single starting tackle in the. Okay, you brought up the arm length debate. We're not in arm length conversation.
I might have been a 78 arm length. I might have been that's rough.
The Patriots offense. Do you have any concerns?
No, I don't have real concerns for them. I mean I guess I should. Drake Maye is a second-year quarterback. Like, it would be so silly, and I think we are all being a little silly about the glaze that we're putting onto him, and that we are saying that he is just immediately such a guy that could go out and win a Super Bowl on his own. He couldn't. He can't. He needs a full team, and he needs the offense to be good. He needs Ramondre Stevenson to be solid. He needs Travion Henderson to have a good game. Like, this is not going to be a game where it's Drake Maye lights it up in the Super Bowl as a second-year quarterback throwing for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. No. That's not how the Super Bowl works. All right? That happened once with Jalen Hurts, who had his best game ever and still lost. So if they're going to win, they just need to stay within themselves. Play some crazy Patriots football. Find Mac Hollins. Seems to be the key to the offense is finding Mac Hollins. How is that Mac possible?
Hollins has found himself.
That guy knows himself. I'm in on Mac Hollins, former Falcons legend that we let walk, which was a bummer. Mm-hmm. I keep on thinking they're going to get tight ends involved. They just say, F that. You guys are going to block, and you're going to block, and you're going to block in the run game, and you're going to chip on the pass game, and you're never going to get open. So Drake Maye does need to have a good game, but I'm not worried. I think they've proven so far that if they're in a decent climate and it's not hideous and offensive out, that they can perform and keep up with any other offense in the league.
I have no intention of disrespecting the Patriots offense for the way that they've played. I have no intention. I'm talking about the whole season. I think that Drake Maye has had tremendous strides, and then to see the performances of a pretty unheralded group with Kayshon Boutte, Kyle Williams stepping up. You mentioned Matt Collins will have a couple of big plays here and there, and Stephon Diggs has been awesome this year. Now that he has a good quarterback he's in a rhythm with and he's got a good relationship with. But I do have a lot of worries with the offensive line. Forget Will Campbell for a second and the whole argument that we were just having there. I think the rest of their offensive line is incredibly mediocre. And I think that a lot of their schedule, and I pulled up their schedule because I was curious to see outside of the playoffs what was the hardest defense that they played. And there really is not, like maybe Atlanta?
Easy
November.
No,
but that's not insane because they had pretty good sack production here.
I was looking at their schedule also, and I was like, I'm not going to pull a lot from this.
Outside of the playoffs, they didn't really face a formidable pass rush. Hence why now during the playoffs, when they faced a good Chargers defense, not a great one, like a really solid one, they don't have an elite pass rusher. Texans, elite pass rushers. Broncos, elite pass rushers. And they've gotten after Drake Maye. This Seahawks defense, which we're going to talk about in a second, on how they looked a little bit shaky against the Rams. But this Seahawks defense, this entire year, has put young quarterbacks, especially in blenders, because of the way that they're attacking. They're very aggressive. They're very creative. I just think that this particular matchup presents a really, really bad spot. I always come back to, this is the one thing that I always make mistakes with. And whenever I take a step back, take a breath, and I analyze what direction I want to go in with a prediction, always go with the team that has the edge along the line of scrimmage. And right now, Seattle has an edge along both lines of scrimmage, especially with their D-line going up against this Pats offensive line.
Here's what I'll say from what I've seen from Drake Maye in the playoffs. He is about a second or a half second to a second too late to bailing to the run. He stays right in the pocket just long enough to get tripped up. It happened all versus Denver, where it's like, okay, covered, Reed's dead, escape. And someone's already swarming on him. So he's a half beat late. That is something that develops when you continue to mature as a quarterback, a second-year guy. I'm not saying he doesn't have feel in the pocket, but he doesn't have like the God-given, like, oh, he can always escape Lamar feel. He doesn't have that stuff yet. So if I was him, I would be very focused on my internal clock when playing the Seattle defense, because they come fast and they send their fast heat-seeking missile defensive backs to the quarterback, and they just get on you. Man, every player on that defense can hit. Every player on that defense can get a sack. That is a nightmare operation for Drake Maye, who you just got to make the right call and pull the trigger. Even if it's the wrong call, you got to pull the trigger because you will get sacked. And you cannot take sacks in the Super Bowl. You take too many sacks in the Super Bowl, you lose the game. Throw it away, big man. Throw it away, throw a pick, arm punt, make a completion. So many options better than take a sack. You can't do it. Because I think you're right. I think Seattle is better in the trenches. I think they have a better offensive line. I think their defensive line is better than New England's.
Except Anthony Bradford.
They have to get it's hard to please you and Ryan Roberts for a bunch of starters in the Super Bowl. It's hard to please you too.
I understand. For context, we're in a group chat with NFL draft analyst Ryan Roberts, and Ryan is a very, very big stickler for evaluations, and he's very critical of a lot of players. Standard, but Anthony Bradford falls into a different bucket. One of my favorite things that I will always watch an Anthony Bradford cut up on TikTok. And he's just the easiest little hanging fruit for film guys, because it's not even analysis. It's, hey, have you watched Anthony Bradford before? Because I'm not trying to crap all over big man, but he is easily the worst starting offensive lineman in the NFL. Half the time that he's on the field, you don't even know who he's blocking or who he thinks he's supposed to be blocking. He's the reason why the Seahawks, I think, are 3/4 of the way into where they want to be offensively, which paints the picture of how insane they've played. But I don't think it's wrong to criticize Anthony Bradford.
I think that you're going after an LSU alum, Anthony Bradford.
Oh, I forgot he was an LSU
I'll
guy.
make sure to pass that along.
Is he actually an LSU guy?
LSU alum.
Oh, how did we end up with Timothy crapping on two LSU guys?
Anthony Bradford is heading to the Super Bowl. Tweeted from LSU football yesterday. So they're all happy for the big man. I'll forward this over to somebody and see how they feel about Anthony Bradford. Seems to be doing okay. I think if you're a starting lineman on
I forgot this is how you guys think. I forgot this is how you linemen think.
There has to
we
be
all go together. If one guy's playing well, we're all playing well.
As the often weakest link on an offensive line in college, I know what it feels like. I know what it's like. But at the same time, I'm not missing every block. Like, you're making just enough. This Anthony Bradford guy is a dude that just needs to make just enough not to lose. And does he put his quarterback in a bad situation sometimes? Sure. But quarterbacks will make a stupid decision. A running back will fumble. A wide receiver will have drops. The offense, you just can't have such a negative energy about it if everyone's making mistakes. You got to still think you're a badass offense that can score. And I think that's why Seattle thrives. Because if you're overcoming issues like Anthony Bradford as a starter, then you obviously are doing pretty good mentally. And that's just as important. It really is in the league. If you can stay up mentally and be like, okay, next play. Come on, Anthony. And Anthony makes a block. And guess what? Score, touchdown, beat the Rams. We're in the Super Bowl.
He is, I was curious, and this is purely just off of a PFF grade, but he is 72nd out of 80, 80 guards in the NFL for his PFF grade.
That's not too good.
Anthony Bradford, I'm rooting for you.
72nd?
Yeah, out of 80. So that includes guys that have just been on the field for maybe a game. I don't know what the threshold is typically.
Starters would end at 64. So they're saying he's
worse. I don't know what the threshold for amount of snaps, but it would probably mean there are a number of guys that didn't play a full season that were just fill-in guards.
Man, thank God
we're better than him.
Thank God Almighty. Thank God above that there's not some stat for linemen that's like yards or touchdowns or sacks. Thank God, because then people would just start leeching on and saying this guy is the worst I've ever seen. It's too nuanced for all that. I'm going to defend the big man here.
You know what? I'm not going to do this. I was going to go pull up his pressures allowed, and I'm sure that number is in the double digits. So I'm not going to do that to
pressures is a BS stat, by the way. Also,
what do you mean? It's pressures allowed is as direct of a stat as you possibly could have. Oh, this guy's letting his quarterback get hit.
I'm saying pressures as a whole. It's like if you were in bowling and they said it was almost a spare. You almost had a spare.
Pressures lead to turnovers. Pressures
sometimes
lead to mistakes.
They sometimes lead to turnovers and mistakes. Sometimes. Now I'm not going to be Mr. Meathead.
Pressures also lead to sacks too.
Sometimes. I'm not going to be Mr. Meathead and say that there's no such thing as a pressure, and I'm not going to say that if
of course, you don't want to acknowledge that a pressure exists.
I am just saying that we just have like this blanket stat for pressures. How about we go one more of pressures that actually turned into something instead of just the vague.
You can make
pressure.
that stat and you can go grade all the offensive linemen.
I don't have the energy to do that.